Leaderboards are coming way sooner than expected. There's been an Xbox podcast interview with Rod Fergusson, the general manager of Diablo 4. And he's been just dropping the date here. We'll watch the video together, and at the end, I'll also give you an outlook on more details of the leaderboard and a little Necromancer tier list of what you should level and gather equipment for. Heads up, it's not one single build. Interview has been plenty long. They're talking a bit about Season 2, Season 3, what it actually means, but there's an important part that we jump forward to. And they've been just suddenly dropping that bomb.
But one of the biggest,
Yeah. February the 30th. In a couple of days, we already get the leaderboard. Lunar Awakening dropping, 50% bonus XP. Boom. And you can go hard on it. They're also giving us a bit more information.
One of the big things for us for Season 3 was something we've been wanting to do since launch, which is leaderboards. It's something that's not there today, but on February 13th, we're going to be updating the game.
February 13th.
And we're going to be releasing this feature called the Gauntlett. And the Gauntlett is a dungeon that has fixed placement every week. So it's a different dungeon every week, but...
And this is the biggest part. Fixed dungeon, fixed placement. So every mob is always at the same place. You have lane A, B, and C. Lane A might have 10 bosses in it. Lane B might have a mob density of 500 mobs per square meter. And lane C is a mix of these two. So 3 lanes, same placement, changing every week though. And you have to choose which is the best build to beat a respective lane to get the most ranking score points to be in the leaderboard.
During that week, it stays exactly the same. The monsters are all the same. They're in the same location. And it's just a way for people to go through and try to get the highest score possible.
You can see here, that is your score. Here's your rank. And this is actually the leaderboard you can look up. So the plan is that online, you can click on whatever leaderboard you're going for, solo rogue, solo barb, solo mage, and you can check who is the number 1, 10, 2, 3, 100, and look at their gear. They said it's not a snapshot of what they had at that point, it's what they currently have. So if you look at them, they might have already respec'd, but still you can get a feeling for what does the person have skilled. And that's quite nice to actually see the real gear and not just something they put on Mobalytics or on D4 builds or whatsoever. No, their actual real gear.
And as they do that, then they'll get posted on the leaderboards, and then they can compete against their friends. There's a friends leaderboard, there's a clan leaderboard.
Very big point. You just want to compete with your friends, your 6, 7 friends. If you have so many friends, then you can just compete with your friend list in your own ladder. You can also compete against your friends or against your clan. And obviously that's a bit because if your friend is playing a barb and you're playing a necro or sork or druid, there's going to be a huge imbalance, as we all know. That's why I like to definitely look at only the necro leaderboard, because I'm a necro and it's fair to compete against other necros.
There's a class leaderboard. Am I the best barbarian? There's also like parties of 2, 3, and 4. So you'll all get to see where your rank is in the world or against your friends in terms of how you're going through the gauntlet.
And then there is new skins, as it seems. I mean, here you see Solo Barbarian, Seal of the Worthy. Rewards is 1 box with whatever in, but that is definitely 1 skin and another skin. So going into the leaderboard is not only just going to be personal edict points to see like how big is it, what you're actually carrying around down there. No, there's also actual rewards to achieve if you want to go there. And that's why we're going to be having a document that is going to be in the description below, where also for the future, we have weekly builds for every gauntlet. So you can, if you choose to, compete. But more to that at the end of the video.
And so we know like leaderboards has been a big thing, especially in Diablo 3. And so we're really excited that in February 13th, we'll be able to bring that leaderboard feature back.
Could be fun for really fine-tuning your build as well, and being like, oh, was I able to get a higher score, get through faster?
Totally.
Yeah.
My number one thing in Diablo 3 always was like, if I showed up a little bit late for a season, I would just go to the leaderboard, look at number 1, and say, what did they do?
That's what they talked about. That's what he's just confirming here, that you can essentially look up the gear of the actual top players. Obviously, everything will be on YouTube as well. Like you'll be able to find all these builds on YouTube. But some people are just not permanently online. Some people go into the game, go into the leaderboard, check what the number one has, and then just try to replicate the build. And if you need bonus understanding of, well, because you don't understand how the build works, you can still go to YouTube. I hope there would actually be like a copy button. You know, if I'm Necro and I go on the Necro leaderboard and he has a Paragon board, I would kind of like to press the copy Paragon board button so you don't have the hassle. That's probably future music, though.
I'm like, I'm now looking for that gear. I'm now looking for that, to set my skills the same and that kind of stuff. So it is a great way to learn, but it's also a challenge because it really puts, one of the things that's hardest about Diablo, because it's such a deep game, and with 5 different classes and all the different builds and all the combination of skills and all the combination of loot, that keeping it balanced is a real challenge. And so that this really puts that balance like front and center, because you can see it in the leaderboard. If
Luckily, we don't care about balance at all, because that's only good for the group leaderboard. But there's solo class leaderboards. So if you really don't want to play Barb, don't worry. You don't have to compete versus them. And this is also the end of the interesting portion of what we actually get to know. But there's more things we do actually know about the leaderboard than just releasing on the 30th. They seem to be tier 70, and tier 70 makes builds completely different. Because for tier 100, you need to have a big compromise happening when it comes to defense versus offense. If I'm looking at my Blood Surge or my Bloodlands build, both of them could use a Pans for vastly more damage. T-Bolts will Blood Moon Breaches, for example. And that's not possible in a tier 100. But if we're looking at, again, the possibility of having an only boss gauntlet, a very high mob density gauntlet, or something of the mix, then builds can be actually altered vastly different to be perfect for that respective lane. And I'm saying, hello, it's week 2 in February, week 3 in February. Now it is the boss gauntlet, and we need a build that is perfect at boss killing. Boom. And that's where they're going to fine tune everything to these levels. And right now, my higher recommendation is definitely Bone Spear. And might it be Bone Spear or Bone Spirit with Spirit to it? These are 2 similar builds that almost have the same aspects that you can easily gather. And then also Blood Surge and Bloodlands. Then you have 3 builds that are good at boss clearing, mob clearing, and at an insane just mob density destruction with the Blood Surge. Blood Surge and Lance being extremely similar in that regard. And then as we can fine tune them for tier 70 with the document in the description below. Yes, you'll always get the updated videos day 1, first day of the gauntlet, try hard, then give you already builds for this week, which all ends in the document. And then you can look it up every week. What was good, what has been exceptionally performing, what was better against bosses, what was better against rabble, so that we have a living document to have you have more fun in those leaderboards, get all those rewards. And as you've seen, there was some kind of skins that we could actually get, and I want to see all of you in the top 1000. So tell me, are you actually competing? Don't forget that the Lunar Awakening is around the corner for bonus XP, so you could level any class up vastly, quickly, fast for the leaderboard to get prepared in, well, roughly a week plus. So that sounds pretty good. Also, if you're looking for that Bone Spear build all ready to get prepared, check it out.